Arg! Ahoy there, matey! Welcome aboard the world of boating.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
I was just looking in to buy a boat of my own.
Call World of Boating toll-free now at 1-8888-28-BOAT. That's 1-888-828-BOAT.
And welcome. This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That is me, along with Barry the Boater and Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew as we attempt to once again navigate the latest boating news and information. And if nothing else, just update you on our crew and what we're up to. Mike the Mariner back with us after a short little break.
Extended vacation.
Well, yeah, sometimes, our crew has to separate and get the proper therapy necessary to maintain the World of Boating crew and perform at a level that our listeners expect, which is usually pretty low.
Pretty low.
But it takes a toll on you mentally. Yeah. So Mike in particular needed to go into therapy and,
therapy.
He's looking at a little, tune up, I guess, maybe.
Yes, but you're back. And you're ready to go, right?
Yes, sir.
All
yes,
right.
sir. Yeah. So I missed the show, missed you guys, missed the listeners, and glad to be back.
Okay. Well, the therapy evidently worked, or he's been drinking heavily.
It's the medications. They corrected his medication.
Mama's medicine, sometimes known as moonshine. But that's a whole nother issue. Barry the Boater wearing his captain's hat, pirate's hat. Why? Why are you doing this?
Because I have a set of anchored in the age of sail, different terminology that was used, not necessarily as a pirate, but used on sailing ships. And I thought I'd give you some information about it when you're ready.
Okay, so what you want to test our sailing lingo knowledge?
Well, yeah, it's a little bit of a test, and it's something that you'll learn that maybe you didn't know before.
Okay, to enlighten our crew, to make us a little bit more aware of the proper lingo when we're on a vessel. We know what to say, so we act like we belong.
Well, you seem smarter when you're on the boat and you know these things.
Okay, well, go ahead, hit us. Let's see if there's any we don't know.
This is called a bosun's whistle.
Yes, he's holding that up. You see it on YouTube, Facebook Live, and Twitch. Yeah, bosun's whistle.
Yeah. So it whistles, and it can be pretty loud.
Can you make it whistle? Doesn't sound like you can.
I made it whistle. I'm just not that good at it.
Well, give it a go. I hear nothing.
Yeah, really? we don't hear anything.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Seriously.
The dogs in his neighborhood are going nuts right now.
Wow, this microphone doesn't pick up high pitches. Okay.
All right.
That's interesting.
That is weird. Okay.
I don't know why. Okay. The bosun's whistle is used because sometimes it was pretty nasty outside and you couldn't hear persons yelling orders to do things, especially if you were up in the sails. Mm-hmm. So you would use this bosun whistles to get everyone's attention. One of the calls was to pipe down. What do you think to pipe down means?
Be quiet.
Yeah. That's
ding, ding, ding. You win.
Well,
it was used.
That's what my dad used to say to me upwards. Well, until I moved.
That's universal.
Pipe down, Greg.
Pipe down.
Making too much racket.
It came from this nautical language. It was used to be quiet at night. Now, what about piping hot?
Piping hot?
Yeah, like scalding hot water or something.
Hot.
Yeah.
Scalding hot. No,
that was the call for meals.
What?
So that was the call for meals. When it was mealtime, he would pipe hot. So he would each different order was a different sound. So the crew knew what sound was what.
So when the captain, right,
no,
exactly.
The bosun gave the orders from the captain. Captain gave the bosun the orders. He would whistle the different orders.
All right, so Barry would blow his whistle that no one would hear, and then he'd go pipe hot, and then that'd be time to go eat.
Nope. Yes.
Okay, pipe hot. That's what the captain said. How about hey, dinner's on. We've kind of moved into the 90s.
You want some food?
No, we're not up in Virginia. This is, the sailors from the 1700s. Okay, what about to toe the line?
Fall
Where
in
did
line.
that derive from? You've heard the term before, right?
Yeah, to toe the line, right?
Follow orders. Follow orders.
Yeah.
Sort of. It was derived from the boys on the ship that were forced to stand still for inspection with their toes on the deck seam. So they all had to have their toes on the deck seam. They would toe the line.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
A scuttlebutt.
A
Does
We
rumor.
talked.
does
Huh?
that have anything to
rumor.
do with those boys on the line? I hope not.
No.
Okay,
No.
good.
Scuttlebutt was a water cask around which seamen would gossip. So all as they were going to get their water, they would spread their gossip while they were sitting at the scuttlebutt. People that go, remember the old water tanks? You had the 5-gallon container. And
Oh, it's
people would
like
go
so
over there
water
and stuff.
cooler talk back
It's the
in
water cooler,
pirate
yes.
times.
But it was done back in the 1700s.
And they called it the
1600s.
scuttlebutt.
And they
Scuttlebutt.
carried it over to the office.
That's right.
Right. Mhm.
Okay. What about a ship was 3 sheets to the wind?
Hammered.
You are close.
That's probably sailing the reach, right? I mean, it's,
Nope. But
No?
it has to do with okay. So when the lines to the sails broke and the vessel pitched out of control like a drunkard. So
aha.
yes.
See?
So when people say he's hammered, he's saying he's 3 sheets to the wind. But where did that come from? When the lines to the sails broke, then the ship went everywhere.
Like a drunkard sailor.
Like a drunkard. Right.
Okay.
All right. Here's another one.
Mhm.
To turn a blind eye. You've heard that.
Hmm.
You've heard that before, right?
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
to ignore.
But
Right.
yes, it refers to when Vice Admiral Horatio Nelson deliberately put his blind eye to his telescope to ignore his superior signal flags to retreat. So that way he never lied to them. I didn't see you give me the order to retreat because he used his eye that didn't work. Get it?
Right.
He turned a blind eye. And then the
Okay.
last one. And when ailing seamen were shielded below decks from adverse elements outside, they were said to be under the weather.
Okay.
Okay.
So if they
To
were
be
sick,
Ill.
And it-
yeah.
yeah, and it was really nasty out, they were under the weather.
All right. Well, so all these terms are supposed to make us smarter sailors? Because I don't feel that much smarter.
You've heard these terms before,
Yeah.
but
now
maybe
you know,
didn't realize these were nautical terms.
or their origin story. Now we have a little
Exactly.
bit, and it traces back to pirate times.
It traces back to sailing times during the grand days of sailing on wooden ships, drinking foul water that we would turn into grog so we could choke it down,
Right.
eating bread called hardtack with little maggots in it and saying, look, extra protein, and anything else that you could eat.
Okay. Well, that's information that'll get you absolutely nowhere, probably.
Well, it
even
actually
on
makes
a
me
boat.
glad I'm a power boater.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you'll get there faster.
Yes.
Maybe a good chatter, for the local watering hole with your sailing
Exactly.
friends.
Yeah.
And,
You
and
know,
then
when-
you can
when
bet
you're
them a
laying-
beer. Like, hey,
Yeah.
you know where Scuttlebutt came from? I'll tell you a story.
It came from my mother-in-law.
No, I don't
No?
know. It came from Barry the Boater. You just told us.
Oh, okay.
All right. But I'm just saying, I don't know what that information will really do for you, though, Barry.
It makes you more rounded boater,
More
or sailor.
worldly, you think?
More
Yeah,
worldly,
Impressive
yes.
to your fellow boating
Yeah,
peoples.
you get on a boat and they
They're
say, "Hey,
easily
where's
amused.
the scuttlebutt? I'm thirsty."
And then you go into this worthless information diatribe, and then they think
No,
even worse
they'll
of
look
you.
at you and they'll say, "What is a scuttlebutt?"
Why
So,
didn't
you
we
know, the
ask
place where you
them?
have the water.
Oh, crap. It was a trick. That was a trick question.
Right.
Well, it makes
Yeah.
you sound smarter when you're in the marina, and especially when you're walking down the dock. I mean, there are some large sailboats in my marina, and when they're talking about some of the stuff they're doing with their boats and some of those maneuvers and things like that, I really don't understand it. But I'm a
Right.
power boater, so
Well,
We're gonna
I'm
come about
much more
against the wind, aren't we?
Well, I'm much more impressed by boaters who come up with trivia like that and throw it out there, and it has absolutely no basis in truth, but they sell it. That's a sign of a well-seasoned sailor,
Yeah.
one that can lie with the best of them.
And he
You
can
think?
sell you anything.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe our level of professionalism is a little different amongst this crew. All right, more coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
explorer in the other 2/3 of your world. Be the buddy who takes the kids in the aquarium instead of just to it. Be adventurous. Be amazed. Be a diver.
Hosting a radio show about scuba diving and boating is one of the best gigs on the planet. It's actually part of my job to check out and report on cool new products I personally use to enhance my diving and boating adventures. However, I do believe in sharing the joy, and this is why we've added Nanook protective hard cases to our list of products you can now purchase on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Nanook cases are designed to protect the most sensitive equipment in the harshest environments. Underwater photographers, listen up. From their high-impact NK7 resin to their exclusive Power Claw latches, Nanook has raised the bar for those of you that demand the best protection for your gear. Plus, Nanook protective cases cost less than similar products currently on the market. The company has been around for over 15 years, but it's new to the U.S., so we've made a small number of Nanook cases available exclusively for you at a special introductory price on the merchandise page at scubaradio.com. Go there now and check out Nanook, the evolution of protection.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the world of boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
We now return to Night Boat, the crime-solving boat.
Faster, Night Boat. We've got to catch those starfish poachers.
You don't have to yell, Michael. I'm all around you. Oh no, they're headed for land.
We'll never catch them now.
Incorrect. Look, a canal.
Oh, Night Boat, go!
Oh, every week there's a canal. Or an inlet. Or a fjord.
Quiet! I will not hear another word against the boat.
I was young, I was dry, but to sail I would go. 1 hour on the water, I was soaked down below. Though I tried, I couldn't hide from my mother's piercing view. But all she would say was, a big boy like you. Wet before, wet behind, we're the members of the Wet Pants Club.
Getting a little pissed here.
Wet before, wet behind, we're the members of the Wet Pants Club.
This is the world of boating. Gregor First Mate, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner, rounding out the crew. Okay, so we got to talk about the boat show season. It just kind of kicked into high gear here, February, March. We're kind of in the thick of it right now. I think next weekend we got Palm Beach, which will be one of the bigger ones. I mean, well, big-ish, especially for in water and yachties.
It's definitely, with a little finger up in the air type boat show where
Thurston Howell the
third, and we're gonna drive here in our little Rolls Royce and Bentleys today.
It leans that way, but they welcome everybody. It's a good show.
It's a great show.
Yeah, but there were some shows last week. What was it? Newport? Is that the one that happened?
Yeah, there was one. I gotta find that again. The Newport International Boat Show. Well, it wasn't last week.
Yeah,
it actually took place on September 11th and 14th in 2025. However, this was a report on the economic impact of the show from that.
Okay.
And that was just released, and this is through boatingindustry.com.
Oh, I got you. Okay. And that is known as being a very, very popular sailing show and like long haul trawlers, I believe. Is that that what you think too there, Barry?
Yeah. And what's interesting is that the show welcomed 30,000 attendees, which may not seem like much, but this is a small state. Rhode Island and all that. And from all over the country and the world, 70% of the visitors traveling from outside the state of Rhode Island.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So to bring those all in, $275 million worth of boats on display, $78 million worth of boats being sold as a result of the show. That's a big chunk of change. And, so they said that it was, I think it was $22.5 million economic impact for Rhode Island.
Okay.
So it helps the state out. These boat shows bring money in.
Big time. Yeah. And you got Newport. That's one that kind of pops up on our radar in Annapolis Boat Show, which is a really big one. That's bigger than Newport, I think, isn't it? Because Annapolis is like the big sailboat show, and Newport, maybe not quite as big, but still has a pretty good level of sailboats and trawlers and things.
Yeah,
out
but
of
I
that
think of
part of the country.
Annapolis,
Yeah.
I think of that as like almost, military.
Yeah, but it's a huge sailing area.
It's a huge sailing area.
That's the big sailboat show.
Chesapeake, up in that area. It's beautiful up there, actually. I've done some boating up there, and some of the marinas around Annapolis are pretty impressive, and there are some beautiful vessels there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, those, they're kind of known for that type of boating. Palm Beach, once again, will be more like yachties cruising out in the Caribbean on a Grand Banks or something like that. But, they got a little bit of everything there, too.
Oh, yeah.
And then, I think the smallest boat in the water at the show is like 21 feet. I think it's called an Italia, but the largest boat at the West Palm Beach show is going to be 260 feet long,
and
4 feet wide.
That's 260 feet. That's 4 houses worth down this neighborhood.
Right.
Length. Length. 4 houses of length. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So,
I just watched a YouTube video of a walk around of one of the largest. It might be the largest sailboat in the world. That. Yeah. What's the name of it again, Barry?
I forgot. It was
an impressive video, but it's a charter that you can actually rent this boat out. Like, before they had the what was it, the Maltese Falcon, which we've talked about before on the boat show, but this was a newer one. Just came out a few years ago, but now it's like 300 feet plus.
Yeah, I've seen that boat in person. It was in Croatia when I was in Croatia.
Oh, you
really?
saw it? Okay.
Yeah.
And I found the video, and I thought I sent it to you, but I can't talk.
Yeah.
But
it
now
popped
I
up
can't
on my
find
radar and my feed and stuff.
I believe it's in the Caribbean right now.
Probably is. I saw the Maltese Falcon. That was the other big sailboat, right? The Maltese Falcon, wasn't that the one? And we actually got the coffee table book of that sent to us years ago. I might have it around here at the studio someplace.
Really?
But it was anchored up off the coast of Saba when I was there diving for a week once, and I'm like, it came up at night, and I was like, when we anchored in, we came in the evening, and I saw all these lights. I'm like, what happened? I mean, Saba usually doesn't have any lights at all. Has it been developed? And since the last time I was here, and then as I got closer, I realized it was the lights from the mast of this massive sailing vessel.
Yeah.
And, they just had lights going all the way up the 3 crazy masts of this.
I'll find out the name of I'll find out the name of that sailing vessel. But if I recall, when I watched the video, the sails themselves, everything's automated.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, it's you don't pull the lines anymore to tighten up your sails or anything like that. You push a button.
Well, the one thing I looked, I watched the whole video. I was like, yeah, this is really nice. And they said this is the first time we've been allowed to show the interior of the vessel. You can call these yacht brokers to rent it, or charter the vessel. But at the end of the video, they didn't give any prices. And I'm thinking, okay, because I really wanted to kind of know what would it cost per day to rent something like that.
Know what that story? Oh, here it is.
At least 30 grand, 50 grand, maybe a day. I don't know.
It's supposed to be, if you're asking, then you can't afford it.
Well, exactly.
That's the
But what's the
answer.
name of the boat, Barry? Did you find it?
I'm getting there. I'm getting there. I'm getting there.
He's got to read, and he's old.
I got to
and
read.
feeble.
Have you ever seen Barry Diller's sailing vessel called the EOS?
I've heard of it, but I don't.
It is a stunning vessel. When I was in St. Thomas on a diving trip, it happened to pull into port right next to the boat we were on.
Yeah.
And It is one of the most beautiful vessels I've ever seen. It's a stunning,
Well, all
stunning
of them
boat.
are like that when they get that big. Well, okay, what's the name of it, Barry?
You're going to laugh at me because I should have known the name.
Yeah.
It's the 106.7 meter, 350 feet for us Americans, the Black Pearl.
Oh, of course. That's right. That's what it was. He's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you're right. When you pull into a marina and you see something like that, like when I was cruising around the island of Saba, and I saw, like, holy crap, that's the largest sailboat in the world at the time. And I went straight to our captain of our little 125-foot liveaboard boat. I said, hey, can you get the captain of that boat on the radio and see if they'll let us come over and take a tour? And he just laughed at me. I don't know why he did, but he
handed you a toothbrush and said, go clean the heads.
Yeah, he's like, oh, hell no. So, but it doesn't hurt to ask. Just a successful questioning of something like that probably ain't going to go your way. More coming up. Stay close.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network.
Traffic sucks, unless you're scuba diving with Mike Scott.
Mike glanced down at his dive computer. It showed less than 50 psi left in his tank. Probably just a few more breaths.
Or riding shotgun in a thrilling car chase.
One bullet hit the Jeep's windshield, spiderwebbing the passenger side. Mike shifted into second gear and felt the Jeep leap forward. This just got serious.
Escape your commute with audiobooks from author Eric Douglas. Download to your phone. Go to booksbyeric.com or audible.com.
Do you have a message or product you need to share with the boating world? Well, look no further than the World of Boating radio show. Just like you, thousands of boating enthusiasts are hearing this message, and we could be talking about you and your product or service as early as next Saturday. Remember, a terrible thing happens when you don't advertise. Nothing. Go to worldofboating.com, send us an email, and let's get to work to make your marketing message matter.
Successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
The word ship is hidden inside the word leadership as its derivation. So, if this office is, in fact, a ship, as its leader, I am the captain. But we're all in the same boat.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Captain, please, can you see my fire? Message in a bottle, starboard side.
This is the World of Boating. Gregor First Mate, Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner rounding out the crew. All right, so look, boat show season in full effect. And all kinds of other things going on, specifically the fact that Barry's wearing his pirate hat. He felt obligated to share some boating terms or just common everyday phrases,
right?
That we use all the time that actually originated from early going, sailors, and pirates, and things like that.
Without cuss words, yeah.
Without cursing. Well, a lot of those curse words probably did originate from sailors and pirates too back in the day.
Yeah, especially during the docking.
Yeah,
things like that.
That would be interesting to find out. When they were docking, they didn't have women on the boat. That was considered, or on the ship, that was considered bad luck.
And then we started letting them on.
I call that idiocy.
Okay,
that's idiocy.
I was just going to say, and they started letting them on, and it's been downhill ever since. But
I would not say that if you.
No, I'm just saying. I was just paraphrasing what he was saying. I don't believe that. Of course not.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you had one woman on a ship of men that have been out to sea for how long, you think there may be issues?
Yeah,
well, that's why it's important to have a healthy ratio.
Well,
right?
remember,
50-50 is ideal.
The early seagoing pirates used to mistake manatees for mermaids. So what does that tell you? They've been out to sea way too long.
Well, that's the grog that was talking.
Yeah, if you say so. I don't know. But yeah, what, you got something else about the sailboats we were talking about there, Barry, or what?
No, not about the sailboats.
Black Pearl?
I was gonna. The Black Pearl is go look up on YouTube.
Yeah,
and watch
it's
this
impressive.
video. Oh, it. You look at it and you say, "Wait, this is a house on land?" No, this is a sailing ship.
This is a
And this is the
billionaire's
biggest one.
lair floating on water. Yeah, it's
Mike did a little bit of research,
Yeah.
and he found the other ships you were talking about, and the Black Pearl again, 350 feet according to their video.
Yep,
but
right. But how
what
much
were
does
the
it
other
cost to
ones?
charter it? You look that up, Barry, while he's telling us about these others.
I'm gonna try to look.
Yeah,
good
because
luck.
I didn't find that. It doesn't say it on the video. I watched it all
Okay,
the way
let
to
me
the
see.
end, figuring like, hey, you want to rent this and take it out for a week? Here's what it'll cost you. Nope. Just contact these
I'll look.
people because we don't want you to have a heart attack until you're on the
Yeah.
phone, and we can send EMT to your location. But I don't know,
Yeah.
what some other boats that are not quite as big
Sure.
as 350 feet or what?
Sure. Yeah. So there's the four top privately owned sailing vessels, Black Pearl being 348 feet
Yeah.
and 49 feet wide. That's the beam. That's unbelievable. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's
that
massive.
certainly limits what marinas you can go into.
Right.
EOS is Barry Diller's boat. That's the boat that I saw
Yeah.
down in St. Thomas, and what a stunning vessel that is. 305 feet
Okay.
and a 44-foot beam.
Gotcha. So is the Black
yeah.
Pearl the biggest then right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And then the Maltese Falcon
All right,
is
there it is.
289 feet.
Yeah.
And
which
it's
I saw that one.
42-foot beam. And then Athena is 295 feet with a 40-foot beam.
Okay. All right.
So
those other, I don't know if those other ones are open for charter or privately owned. I mean, you mentioned the one guy owns one of them, so I'm guessing they are not. But I know that the Black Pearl is, because that's what the whole video was about. Like, hey, this is set up as a charter operation. You could rent this thing for what, Barry? You figure it out or no?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And
Are you Yeah, you're all sitting good.
Yeah.
The weekly rates, love it, ranges from 850,000 for the week in the lower seasons,
right,
to 1.2 million in the peak seasons, not including expenses.
Wow. So $1 million
Plus
a week.
expenses.
thereabouts.
Yeah. 1.2 million.
And that doesn't include expenses?
Yeah, and I don't know what expenses are then. So I mean that maybe they automatically set our net profit's going to be 1.2 million, and then you pay the rest. I don't know.
Yeah.
I do know that I have a client that was a private sailing captain for many owners for years.
Right.
He's retired from it.
Yeah.
Lived on the ship. His wife was the cook or whatever they call it, the chef on the ship.
Uh-huh.
And the owners did rent these ships because it helped offset the cost of owning the ship.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, if you
Yeah.
know the right
Yeah.
person, you could, anything's
And
for
then
sale or
the
you know,
owner,
you
the
want-
owner might say, "Hey, I want it over in Spain on this particular week."
Right.
And then they would take the boat over there or the ship over there and have it ready for them when they flew in, and then came in their helicopter and landed.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, it's impressive like on EOS, the entire crew was dressed in matching uniforms that matched the ship. It's got a dark navy blue hull,
Right.
and I mean, it looked like they acted like they were a Navy vessel. I mean, they were everything was sequenced, everything was in place. It was just a really impressive sight, and the way they managed it, and the captain just
Yeah.
the way he maneuvered the vessel was
Yeah, you got to figure out a way to buddy up with these billionaires and just meet them at a tiki bar, and then you don't realize it. Then you kind of find out that they're so and so, and you buy them a drink, and then start up a conversation like, "Hey, what are you? How'd you get here?" And they say, "Oh, I'm on the Black Pearl over there." And what?
Okay, so I just
Be
did
my
a little
friend,
more
please.
research.
Be my friend.
Believe it or not, the Black Pearl is the second largest sailing yacht on the water.
Okay, so what's the biggest? then?
I'm looking.
All right.
That's the second largest. I don't know what else is there.
Yeah.
But she is available.
There is one that's more of it's a sailing vessel, but it's a cruise ship.
Yeah.
and it is larger than all of these vessels. I can't remember the name of it. I have seen it before.
Right, but it's not a sailboat.
It is.
Oh, it is a
it's
sailboat.
Yeah, it's the largest sailing cruise ship in the world.
So that means it would have more than 12 passengers. This one you could have up to 12 passengers. So find 11 of your very wealthy friends
right
to pay for it, and then you could drop $1 in the till.
Yeah. Well, you might be talking about Windstar or one of those type of cruise ship things that they do sailboat stuff too on, but they got it like 100 rooms on it or something like that. Maybe.
Yes. Well, it's larger than that. Actually, it's larger than the Windjammers.
Yeah.
It's an older sailing vessel with steel hull.
Yeah, screw that. That's for the white trash. I'm talking about if I want to hang with the big guns and I want to go out on the Black Pearl, you got to be able to suck it up. But you mentioned the crew is top notch. Obviously, there's no expense. It's too much for them. But I have been fortunate over the years to suck up to the right people every now and then. Nothing like a 350-foot sailboat like that. But I have been on really fancy yachts with an owner, and one of the things that impressed me the most was that they had their own branded cigars and their own branded rum that was named after the boat. So it was a little bit beyond, matching, uniforms for the crew. They had their own cigars. Like, here, have a Black Pearl cigar.
Oh, you get a box of cigars and a bunch of wrappers and you put there. Come on.
It was a little better than that.
It's not
Barry.
Better than Scuba Radio stickers.
Well,
and I found the ship you're talking about.
What's the name of it?
Sailing Yacht A.
That's the name of the bigger boat? Sailing Yacht A?
Yes.
That's lame. That just sounds lame, but go ahead and start sucking up now so we can get on that baby. All right, more coming up. Stay close to the World of Boating.
You're listening to the World of Boating Radio Network. You have successfully navigated the Sea of Commerce and now are clear to cruise with the World of Boating.
I do like the water.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
The sun, the sea air, good friends.
Brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Ryan, we've got to get on that ship. Attention passengers. The karaoke contest will begin in 5 minutes.
Okay, now we've really got to get on that ship.
Look at me, I'm shit-faced. I'm a nautical disgrace. Round these yachties, I'm out of place. I'm shit-faced.
This is the World of Boating. Greg, your first mate. That's me, along with Barry the Boater, Mike the Mariner. And we're trying to figure out the best way to suck up to a billionaire and his fancy yacht so we can be taken out on it as a guest. Or at least just to get a 2-cent tour. I don't know. What would be the best opening line for a billionaire at the tiki bar you happen to run into him, Barry? What would you say, like, to try to coax them into, like, hey, let me on your boat, take me out on your.
It would be as
be like, hey, big boy, what's
that little yacht? No,
what's a billionaire like you doing in a dump like this?
No, it would have to be challenging. It would say, oh, that's a fairly small sailing vessel.
Oh, you try to guilt them into it.
Guilt them into it. Say, what do you mean small?
Right.
There you go.
Reverse psychology kind of thing. Yeah. All right. Mm-hmm.
So Sailing Yacht A is the world's largest privately owned sailing vessel, measuring 469 feet. It was delivered in 2017 to billionaire Andrei Melanenko, and I hope I didn't mess up his name too bad. It features 3 100-meter carbon fiber masts and is considered a sail-assisted motor yacht.
Okay.
Another big one is Jeff Bezos of Amazon fame.
Right.
The Kourou is 417 feet. Now, I did a little research because I was just curious about sailing ships from the 1700s. So I said, what is the largest British sailing ship from the 1700s?
Okay.
It was called the HMS Victory. It was launched in 1765, and it was 227 feet, 6 inches long, With a 186-foot gun deck and a beam of 51 feet, she was designed to carry 100 guns or 100 cannons, and it took 6,000 oak trees to construct her.
Yeah, that's huge for that period. I mean, that was
Still, these privately owned ships are twice the size of the biggest gunships of the time there.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I can't really hear Mike. Mike, where'd you go there, buddy?
He's there. Oh, he forgot.
I did.
There he is.
He got all excited.
Yeah. He was trying to figure out how he could
trying to
suck
figure
up
out how to
those
get on some of
billionaires.
these ships. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that victory.
Hey, we're from World of Boating. Can we tour your boat?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, the sailboat is at the bottom of, or the Victory is at the bottom of the sea now, I would assume, or is it still out there?
I don't think so. I think it's let me see something. Major ship, the Royal George. I don't know. I don't know what happened to her. I'll find out.
Yeah. I would think it would be a shipwreck by now, but who knows? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what you would say.
Well, the Constitution is still afloat. So, I mean,
Oh, no.
right.
She is the oldest Navy vessel still in commission, serving as a flagship of the First Sea Lord, and is preserved in a dry dock at Portsmouth, England.
Right.
So you can go check her out. 100 cannons. I like to have one cannon just in front of my house, facing outward with a remote control when people come by to sell things.
Well, that'd be okay, but I still would rather go to the biggest sailboat in the world, the A1. What is it? A1C?
Model.
No, wait, that's
A1C. No, that's your
A1C.
That's your blood sugar.
Yeah, what are they
that's called Sailing Yacht A.
Sailing Yacht A. What
So
a
I guess
lame.
there's
Why
gonna be
didn't they? Did they never name it? Why would you not? Why? That doesn't
I
sound
don't
like
know.
the name of a boat.
Well,
Sailing
it
Yacht
can
A.
work. But that means it can be a sailing yacht B and a sailing yacht C, or you could dive the wreckage of sailing yacht A on sailing yacht B.
Lame. And I guess that'd be the angle. I'd probably take Barry's line of attack if you ran into the owner at a tiki bar somewhere deep in the Caribbean and you knew this was the guy and he was just coming over for, a pina colada like every other tourist. And you realize it's the guy from the A1C boat. Hey,
you can always tell because he's the guy that walks in and says, "Does my boat make this marina look small?"
Oh no! What you say is, "Hey, do you know
lame
who
name,
owns that?
man.
Do you know who owns that dinky little sailboat?"
Yeah.
Yeah.
There
Or-
you go. That's the challenge right
Or
there.
Bust his balls
dinky.
like, why didn't you name it like a real boat, like a Black
instead of
Pearl or
A1C.
something? What is that? And try to get him on the defense and
Right.
see if you can guilt him in. Let me on that boat. Let me
Oh,
take a look
it's-
around. I'll come up with a name for you.
Yeah. We work for World of Boating. Let
And
us
the
know.
name of your boat should be "I Have More Money Than God."
Right. Not A1C.
Yeah.
It's A1C.
I don't know, but yeah, it's crazy, some of that stuff. But I have always wondered, like, because that could really happen, just like running
What?
into Jimmy Buffett in the Caribbean back in the day. I would always miss Jimmy Buffett by a day or so at a Caribbean island, and
'Cause he knew
obviously
you were
he
coming
did
there.
pretty well off. And I always was hoping that I'd have that chance encounter, but that could happen with one of these billionaire owners of one of these crazy sail yachts. I mean, they like to keep their anonymity for the most part, especially when we're traveling, I would assume. But
Well, the way you would do that is if you were on someone else's sailing yacht in the same area that these big yachts were in.
well, that's what I tried to
Because
do
they
in
all
Sable,
invite
Barry.
each other.
Well,
and
I
they
figured.
saw you and they said no.
Well, no, the captain of my boat.
Oh, he laughed at you. That's
yeah,
right.
he said, "I'm not going to do that. That'll make
I'm
me
not
look
gonna
bad."
do-
He's like, "I'm not going to stick my neck out there and have them say, 'Hey, leave us alone.'"
You dumb
He
tourist.
wouldn't
you.
even. Yeah, he wouldn't even ask the folks at the Maltese Falcon for me. I was
Yeah.
like, come on, man, just get on the radio, dial them up, like, "Hey, Maltese Falcon, how you doing?"
Hey, you got American here. You want to look at him? No.
Yeah.
I'll just jump in the water and act like you're drowning.
Yeah,
Oh,
you could do
okay,
that.
that's
You could
right.
Swim
Rescue.
over, yeah.
Yeah, there's that. You could.
He said,
you could
do you have
stage
any
an
Grey
emergency.
Poupon? You know?
Yeah.
Gosh, I would sure feel a whole lot better if I could look around for a bit. I need to walk. I need to walk around.
Right. Give me a minute before you send me back. All right.
Hide
and
the silver.
give me one of those fancy cigars you have on this boat first, too.
Yeah, with your name on there.
Right. But yeah, I have always wondered, what would be the best way to approach someone like that.
Go to a boat show and then,
Well, it could happen at a boat show too, for
Yeah.
sure.
You got
you
a better
never
chance
know
of going on a yacht there.
You never know who you might run into at the local watering hole, at the bar and stuff. I mean,
Sure.
it could be one of those guys.
Hey,
they're
I could
not
be
gonna
out there.
volunteer that information. They're going to keep quiet about it and, just start strumming up a conversation. And next thing you know, like, hey, wait, come on out with me. I'll show you a boat.
Well, to your point, that happens a lot. In fact, the last 2 times I've been down to the show.
So what was your pickup line, Mike?
It
For
wasn't
one
a
of the...
pickup line. Just literally, you're just talking to people, and they're boat people too. And I struck up a conversation 2 years ago at the Fort Lauderdale Boat Show with a guy that was buying a 175-foot yacht, and he was talking like, I'm just like buying a Chevy pickup. He's just, that's the one I'm going to get. I'm haggling with him. My broker's talking with his broker, and we're going to come to terms. And he's just talking like, I'm just buying a pickup truck.
Just buying it. Yeah, I'm looking at one of those too. And
It's a new
that's the
pickup
key.
yacht.
Looking at it.
Yeah.
And then you try to keep finance, off the table so he doesn't press you.
Finance for 1,000 years.
Yeah. And just say, I'm looking at one of them. I was thinking like 200 meter or, 200 feet
You better
plus.
know your meters before you say anything.
Yeah, you got to be careful. You got to get your ducks in a row. You got to sound smart.
Some of those boats have fuel tanks that are bigger than my entire boat. I mean,
Don't say that. That'll be a deal killer right there, and you'll get nowhere.
Just tell them that. Let's go over to the scuttlebutt and talk.
Yeah. There you go.
You know your nautical lingo, you'll get on the boat.
Right. That, or you say, hey, my better half here is, Playboy 2026 And it's like, come on aboard.
Nothing.
Welcome
Yeah,
aboard.
Come on aboard. Yeah. Push him off the boat. Keep
All
the
right,
wife.
There's a few different techniques
There you
you
go.
can use. It probably get you in trouble. So
Right.
we'll just end on that note for today. Till next time, remember, whether it is sail or motor,
life is better as a boater.
Safe boating, everyone.
Barnacle-bitten swab. World of Boating is brought to you by worldofboating.com, your internet portal for the boating enthusiast.
Any of this getting through to you, son?
World of Boating is a production of Overboard Entertainment Incorporated.
Computer standing by.
Remember, you can listen live or to archives of past shows worldwide over the internet at worldofboating.com.
Computers can do that?
So tell a friend and come aboard every week for the World of Boating.
This is so great. I can't wait. I'm getting goosebumps. Feel me. Feel me.
The radio show devoted exclusively to the boating lifestyle.
TTFN, ta-ta for now.
The opinions you just heard on the World of Boating are those of the hosts, callers, and guests. They are not necessarily those of any station or network, its management, or advertisers.
What are you being such a weenie for?
While on the water, your safety and the safety of many others depends on you. So boat smart and operate your vessel only after receiving the proper training and instruction for your area.
There is a fine line between genius and madness.
Have any questions or comments? Feel free to do so via the web at worldofboating.com.